Shalom Aleichem. Peace be upon you. Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High, Yahuwah, through Yahushua HaMashiach. It's your brother UncleK, and we're back with another one. I hope you're having a Baruch day, and I hope right now you have a sound mind and a sound heart. Now let's get into the content. When a man is overly stimulated sexually, this man, he breaks down rapidly. Now, definitely he breaks down rapidly when he's doing it in a way that hasn't been ordained by the Most High, hasn't been ordained by the spiritual laws that has been put in place through his commandments and his ways and his morals. If it doesn't fall in line with that, then the man is definitely going to deteriorate extremely fast, rapidly. You know, a married man, he has to conserve his sexual energy as well too. Not to the same degree as a man that doesn't have a wife, because when a man doesn't have a wife, at times he's more susceptible to falling in something that's crooked, because his body desires to be with a woman, right? But this is where the man has to find patience and find peace in the midst of this. Because once the man starts to conserve his sexual energy, and then he goes back to defiling his temple through things digitally on the media and websites and things like that, it's not going to be a one-time thing. It's going to be a non-stop thing. And he's breaking down his mind, first of all. And when you disrupt the mind and the chemical balances and the hormonal balances and things like that in the mind, because it always starts off in the mind. Your pituitary gland, dopamine starts off in the brain. And through the pituitary gland, that's where a lot of hormones get excreted, and then it goes to the gonads and things like that. So you can start getting sperm production and increase in testosterone and things like that. So when you start to deteriorate the mind by watching things that is unclean and things that's actually just evil and wicked and confusion, it's going to break you down very rapidly. Because we know that these things that's in this world, it's made in a way that it can be very addictive to the man that doesn't want to put his foot on the brake and just slow down for a minute, right? Now, for a married man that has been conserving his energy, if he has been conserving his energy for a long time, let's say 6 months, 7 months, and then he wants to have a healthy exchange with his wife, it's not going to be just one time either. And then he's going to jump right back into conserving his energy. It might be once a week, might be twice a week. Sometimes it may be once every 2 weeks. Sometimes in that 1 week, it may be 3 times, right? But since the man is doing it that way, he's not going to be as drained as someone that's breaking down his mental by overly stimulating it with pixels and imagery on the phones and things like that. But the married man, he's going to come to a point where he's like, hold up, I need to conserve this sexual energy before it gets to that point where I'm starting to feel extreme symptoms of fatigue, but not mentally, just bodily, right? When a man is defiling his temple, but he's watching things on the internet, he's breaking down his mind and his body, right? And it's not a safe zone. You know, it's so important that the man conserves his sexual energy, right? And it has nothing to do with being attractive towards women and things like that. It's mainly so that way you can have a sharp mind. You can feel mentally above, right? You want to feel mentally high, right? You want to feel like that. You want to have that type of intelligence that you want to solve problems. You want to learn different things. You want to read more books so that way when you speak, you sound more fluent. You want to be so deep in your spiritual walk that you're constantly meditating. Even when you're going to a destination, you're driving your car, you're going to work, you're in the meditation, you're thinking about things on a deep introspection, on that deep level, right? You just always learning something small and minuscule about yourself or about how things work in the world, just about the magnetics, just about your vibration per se, and realizing why things the way they are, you know, feeling out your environment. You know, when you have a lot of sexual energy held in within you, you start to vibrate much higher than someone that doesn't have any resources. And you begin to vibrate extremely low when you are diving into the unnatural way of doing things. When you're doing things in an unnatural way, your vibration definitely drops significantly lower, right? And a big example of this is looking at the whole entire world. Just if you live in a big city and you going about your day, you see the majority of people, they cannot make any eye contact. They cannot make any eye contact. The majority of people you come across, they cannot make eye contact, right? Because their eyes are so glued to the phone, so glued to social media and watching 15-second videos and watching a bunch of unclean things, to the point that when they see human-to-human contact, yeah, I'm good, huh? Yeah, you too, brother. You know, when it's like eye-to-eye contact, sometimes it get real difficult to latch on to something that's actually real. You know what I'm saying? Real. See, more people are more susceptible to locking on to something that's artificial. You know, something that make them feel good temporarily, right? Little things like that. So a lot of people that come together, when you see people that's in big groups, it's only because they have similar tendencies, similar things. Either they all on social media and they all talk about music, or they all talk about weed, all talk about some type of lifestyle and things like that. But you don't vibrate like that, right? You don't vibrate like that at all, right? You just observe and you see it. And a lot of people are just in a whole different dimension. And that's where, when you have no sexual energy, that's when you start to vibrate that low, right? That you have to be around people, right? When you have no sexual energy, you have to be around people that's like-minded like you, that don't have no sexual energy. People that are just depleted. Compared to someone that has a lot of resources, has a lot of sexual energy. At times, this person is found alone. He's found by himself, you know, minding his business. He's going about his day. And there's not a lot of people that can vibrate on his level. Now, mind you, you still show love. You still give some positivity every once in a while to people. But still, there's not a lot of people around you because they can't be around that vibration for long. It kind of irks them. It kind of get them a little jittery at times. It tends to purify the environment too much, because sometimes people don't want their environment that purified. So when you find yourself alone a lot of times, it's a reason because you at a higher vibration. You got more energy flowing through you and coursing through you. Right? But when you start depleting yourself, you want to find tactics to be around people. You want to call people up on the phone. You want to be on social media more. You want to start posting more pictures and things like that so you can start getting some type of dopamine. You want to start getting some type of stimulus. Right? When you start cultivating your sexual energy, that's a great time for the man, because he's going to realize that only those that vibrate high is going to come around. It's a big filtering process. For real. And when you don't have that, a lot of other things could creep in. A lot of people probably want to talk to you more often. A lot of people want to shake hands and do business with you a lot more often because you have no sexual energy. It works hand in hand, right? It works hand in hand. When you got your energy, when you have sexual energy, yeah, there may be some opportunities that come your way, but it's very slim, right? Unless you're out there trying to seek it and you so open to people because you have an abundance of sexual energy. But when you are really deep within yourself and you start to understand the spirituality and the level of the earth and the people that's in it, you're going to definitely find yourself alone a lot of the times until there's actually good and healthy company that comes around. So you got to start cultivating that sexual energy right now. And if you haven't and you fell off and you stopped doing it and you started digging deep in a rabbit hole, you need to get out that rabbit hole right now and start really conserving it right now. For real. And even if it gets difficult, like I said, you're just going to have to submit yourself to the Most High and just be patient. And anytime you feel that fire that's coursing through you, just look at it as a positive. Be optimistic about it, right? Know that you're getting an increase. Don't look at it as a temptation all the time. Look at it as a form of an increase, right? Just look at it in that way. And you're going to start to be more optimistic about your situation instead of running back to something that's going to definitely deteriorate your mind and then your body. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't catch back up once the brain has been broken down and been warped, right? And we could all think about the times when our brain was so warped out of whack. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't even function properly because you had so much things going on in your mental. You was triggering so many things that your brain was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Look at the grid where they show the brain that's on pornography, the rays and the gamma and all the parts of the brain that gets triggered compared to a brain that doesn't watch that. And you see the big difference, right? The brain is going through a crazy change and it's just being broken down so fast compared to when you're not doing it and you have more clarity. Your cerebral is much more up to par. And that's where you want to be at, right? Everybody want to be that way, right? You be your brother, UncleK, I don't watch those things. I got a wife. But even though I have a wife, I still have to put a halt to it every once in a while and just to bring everything back into center, right? I'm not wild with it, but, as a man, when it's time for you to do what you got to do. You got to listen to the body and the body needs it. I'm gonna state it again. When you're watching things digitally, it breaks down the mind and the body. When you have a wife, you don't feel it as in the mind as much because you're not defiling your temple. You're not watching things, but you could feel a slight decrease if you're continuously doing it nonstop, right? You're gonna have to peel back and regenerate all of that, and you're gonna get it back much faster, right? That's the thing that people don't understand, is that when you have a wife and you're not watching the whole PMO and half-naked women on these social media apps, you tend to regenerate those resources much faster. You accumulate much faster. You see results much faster than someone that is repairing on a deep level, right? When your brain is repairing, it's going to take longer for you to actually feel the mental benefits, right, of holding on to your sexual energy, right? So hold on to it, right? Don't get super religious with it, but have some self-control and some love for yourself, right? It's not a religion. Make sure that you, once again, have some love for yourself, right? Cherish yourself, right? Honor the temple, right? Honor your mind as well, too. And I hope you've been edified. Shalom Aleichem. Peace be upon you. Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High, Yahuwah, through Yahushua HaMashiach. It's your brother, UncleK. And I'm glad y'all tapped into another one. Like, share, comment down below. And if you're not a supporter, become a supporter right now. I just advise you to tell a friend. Continue to have a Baruch day. Keep a sound mind and a sound heart. And I'll see you soon, Most High willing. But for now, peace.